Hi there, this is Ranjan from WebRaga Tutorials. As we discussed in our last tutorial how to download and install jQuery, in this tutorial I will discuss with you about how to get started working with jQuery, how to write your first code in jQuery. So as I discussed in my last tutorial that whatever you are going to execute in jQuery, you have to simply write that inside the $document.ready function. So as we have to do this every time we work in our jQuery, so instead of writing this whole length of code $document.ready function, I can give it a little shorter version, and this is $function and the brackets. There is actually not any difference between $document.ready function and $function. So if you want to write this in a shorter version $function, then this is going to work the same. So if I again write an alert box inside it, and I'll say OK. So if I go back into my browser and run this code into my browser once again, so as you can see, we have got the alert box as we were getting earlier. So for this tutorial, I don't want this alert box to be displayed when our page loads. I simply want this alert box to be displayed whenever I click on a button inside my body. So instead of writing an h1 tag, I simply is going to take an input type is equal to button, and I'll give it a value equal to click me, and also I'm going to give it an ID of btn. So I've taken a button inside my body. So if I go back to my browser and refresh again, so we have got a button with a value of click me. So what I want is whenever I click on this button, I just simply want to display an alert box onto my browser. So I'll go back to $function, and this time I'm going to write $#btn. Since I've given the ID of btn to my button, so I'll write $#btn inside the $function. So what this is going to do is dollar is going to select an element with an ID of btn, and whenever we got this element, I'll simply join a click method with $#btn. So this simply says that whenever an element with ID btn is clicked, then I'll write a function inside it, function and the function body. So whatever I'm going to write inside this function body, so this time I'll going to write an alert saying OK, and if I run this code into my browser once again, so this time we have got a button, and if I click on this button, there we got the alert box saying OK. So this is how we fire an event inside jQuery. So the method click is actually firing an event of click in jQuery. So instead of click, if I write mouse over, so what this is going to do, whenever I mouse over an element with an ID of btn, so this is going to fire an alert box. So if I go back once again, and if I hit refresh, and whenever I take my cursor onto this button, so this is again going to display an alert box. So this is really simple to work with jQuery. This is really very simple, and you can fire any event using this simple jQuery code. So in my next tutorial, I'll talk about what actually the jQuery predefined events are and what are the jQuery predefined methods. So I'll give you all the possible available methods in jQuery standard library, and we will start working in our further tutorials onto that methods. So thanks for watching. Happy learning.